Hi guys, welcome to today's video. It's a bit of a change from normal, our normal content. Thought we'd do a reaction video to a music video which I saw today, and it was so powerful I just thought I wanted to show my wife Simone. My name's Mark and we're FamVoyage. We have a family of 7, one of which has flown the nest, 6 are living with us, and we homeschool. We're also vegan as a family as well. So yeah, it's by DAX and it's called To Be a Man, and I was quite touched by it today, and I was telling everyone that I know, and I thought since Simone hasn't seen it, we can all watch it together. So here it goes.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Yeah, I know this life can really beat you down. You wanna scream but you won't make a sound. Got so much weight that you've been holding but won't show any emotion. As a man that goes unspoken, that we can't cry when life gets hard. Unconditional loves for women, children and dogs. We know that we just have to play our parts, and don't nobody give a damn about our broken hearts. Yeah, as a man we gotta pave our way. Our only function is to work and slave. There's no respect for you if you ain't paid. You're disregarded as a human and you can't complain. And if you ever make it up and actually reach that place and find a woman that you love and give her your last name, you'll feel the things that you provide is only why she stays. And when you try to explain, you'll say I can't hide myself.
Yeah, so I guess he's saying, like, you know, if you ever get to the point like where you get married and you have a wife, and but your value is only sort of, and obviously he's going on an extreme, like, kind of it's more of, I don't know if everything he's saying he would say is facts. It's just kind of an emotion as well that he's going on, which is a real emotion that some men feel like their value only is to what you can give, and they're not meant to sort of have any kind of weakness, because the moment you show weakness, then you're not seen as important anymore. Or you're seen as being weak, and that's not a good thing. That's how you feel. It might not necessarily be the truth, but that's a feeling which has substance to it because it comes from somewhere. It's true that when, sometimes if you show your emotion as a man, it's it can be not very attractive. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's very deep and raw and real, isn't it? I feel like you kind of hear a lot about women's struggles because they find it easier to talk, and if not to their husband or significant other, than to other women. So they kind of get to vent these feelings. Whereas men tend to hold it in more because of their feelings towards their masculinity and how they'll be perceived if they express these fears or feelings. Yeah, it's the aftermath I think they worry about.
Yeah, and I think also it's just, to a certain degree, men are supposed to hold things in. That's the point, because someone has to be strong in that sense. But then also there has to be moments where I think that, maybe women can understand that a bit more in terms of like, this your man is really going through a lot, like, but he's just holding it in, he's just protecting you, but there's this idea that maybe he isn't going through anything, or a naivety because he's not saying anything, but there are real things going on, and that's why it's probably a shock to a lot of women to hear this sort of stuff, like, because they probably wouldn't even imagine that, but it's true, and it affects a lot of men, and it affects their self-esteem, how they feel about themselves, because they don't feel important, or they don't feel you feel like they're dispensable, like maybe their value only consists as to what you can give somebody, what you can provide for somebody, and not necessarily who you are as a person. And there's some good parts to that, because that is also men's strength, which is providing, so they're good at that. But there are times where it goes over the top, and I think especially in today's society where there's so much pressure, and there's a lot of social pressure. You go on the internet, there's always someone who's flashing money, flashing this, that, the other thing, and then you're working your normal 9-to-5 job, working at, I don't know, the post office or the local bakery, and you go online and there's people with Bugattis and all kinds of fancy cars and big houses and fancy holidays, and then you can easily start comparing yourself and lose respect for yourself because you're thinking that you should be there. There's value in being grateful for what you have, and appreciating what you have, and being happy with that, but also wanting more, but being content as well, and being grateful for what you have. So I think, in short, I think that a lot of the answer to this is to be grateful more as men. I think it's also important to talk as well, which we'll go on to, but it's also important to be grateful and to show gratitude for what you do have and what you're able to do, rather than what you wish you could do. It's a lot easier said than done, because I always say that, but then sometimes I'm beating myself up because I haven't got this, I haven't got that, I've not done this yet, I've not done that yet. It's tough, really. But yeah, let's continue.
Don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Don't give up, keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon, and our father's actions play a role, and we end up like them. So they can't let us see them hurt, cause we'll embody what they do and start a generational curse. No wonder most men are so depressed, all the things that they can't express. They go to war, get thrown on the shelf, then go back to war with their mental health, then grab that bottle and ask for help.
Yeah, yeah, what he said there, like, every line is just so well thought out and so impactful. Like, I could stop it every minute, but I just wanted to cover what he said then about curses, and I'm always thinking about this, and generational curses, and you don't want your kids to repeat certain generational curses, certain things that have been handed down to them, and that you had a struggle. I mean, my dad had struggles, problems. I have a stepdad, I have a real dad, I have all kinds of complications which can impact you. And but one thing about men is that things can go wrong for you, but one thing you don't want is you don't want your kids to repeat the same cycle. which is a bit of a theme for me. I don't want them to have to go through the same cycle of anyone's generational problems, you know. And I know that's not going to be possible because that's perfection, but at the same time, I'm going to, you know, really try, you know. So that's it's nice to hear someone else say that, you know, so you know you're not going crazy, because that is something I think about a lot. Is yeah, I don't want them to go through the same things, to repeat the same cycle. It's so important, and then he goes on to talk about men that go out to war and they go out and fight, and they, you know, they fight for their country, and then they come home only to find there's no help. You know, they have to start drinking or whatever to cope with what they've been through emotionally, mentally, out there on the battlefield. Then they come home and there's no support. You know, they have to suck it in again and kind of. And it's important. I mean, when you got sons, I've got 5. So you want to tell them that life is hard, and you want to prepare them that life is hard, and that they're going to have to suck a lot of things up. They can't just whine all the time. But at the same time, I don't want them to feel like they can't cry. They can't express themselves, you know. It's a very fine balance, I think. You know, they can feel upset. They can feel emotional sometimes. That's important. I don't want to jump on it every time they're emotional. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's a certain level of like, well, come on now, you gotta have to, you know, maybe there's a certain amount of time you allow them to be emotional, but then they have to pick themselves up and then stop, you know. So maybe it's like that. But
it's so important that you said that, because sometimes I can be quite dismissive, especially like if I'm about to leave the house and someone's having a meltdown about a glove. Like, what now? It's like, no. Cut that out. We're off. And I'm not really thinking about, oh, they need to have an emotional moment. I'm just thinking, we're about to leave the house and you're crying over a glove. And yeah, so I guess that's just really struck home with me, that I need to be more mindful of that dismissive. I'd say it's nature. Like, I naturally just dismiss sometimes, like, because I'm just trying to not survive, but just thrive and do what we've got to do for the day. So yeah.
Try to pull themselves out of hell, then fall back down and then realize that they're gonna have to do with themselves. It's the circle of life. As a man, you provide. They don't know what you're worth till the day that you die, and that's when they start crying. Then move on to a man to confide in. That's why we feel we can't hide ourselves. We don't.
That was kind of like I don't know what you call it, a crescendo, like a peak moment in the song, because he put a lot of his voice changed, and there was a lot more drive, and his voice went higher, and it's like, you know, as a man, you provide. You only valued when you die, and then people realize, oh, you know, like, oh, we appreciate what he did, and only for your wife to confide in someone else, another man, to say, you know, and it's extreme, yeah, but it's also very true, you know. You know, it happens to men that, you know, they they pass on, and then you've done all that work for someone else, you know, to just come and just take everything you've done, you know, and then it's like, oh yeah, he's a good man, but you know, he never got his flowers when he was there, you know. You know, you know, and that's where the dispensable part of men comes, where you start to feel you're just dispensable, you know, you're like a robot or some workhorse for someone, you know what I mean? So it's interesting, and it's powerful as well. It's a powerful way to, you know, like the song has been elevating and it's been kind of climbing. It's like a climax of the song. And
do you feel like I'm better at appreciating you now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've got better, definitely. And, you know, that's not to say you started off terrible, but I think that we're getting better at... but, you know, there's, you know, room for improvement for me to improve my awareness of a lot of things. And, you know, we're always growing and trying to be more aware of our thoughts, our behaviors. And myself, I am definitely becoming more aware of, or trying to be more aware of what's going on around me, the things that you do and the things that you provide for our children, for our household. It's important that we, you know, value those things, and, you know, and understand how important, you know, I think a lot of couples, they can become quite competitive in that sense of who is the most important parent, or who is the person who's doing, you know, rather than thinking, how can I lift the other parent? You're thinking, how can I outdo the other parent or do better than the other parent, which is where the problem starts, really. It's like, it's a wrong perspective, a wrong outlook. You know, your outlook should be to lift, well, just like the Bible says, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So if you put yourself first, you'll be last. If you put yourself last, you'll be first. You know, so when you understand that kind of ancient wisdom, you understand that there's no point in that. You know, it's about helping each other and edifying each other and making each other feel heard and listened to. Because, like I say, there's a lot of attention for women at the moment. And, you know, if you've been hurt in any way or you've been abused in any way, there's plenty of attention. But there's a lot of men who've been abused. I mean, I've been through things that you could class as abuse, but no one wants to hear about that. You know, but I just sucked it in and just got on with it, you know. But, you know, and that's part of being a man. That's part of the cross that you carry. But it's good to be acknowledged and to be respected in your household, absolutely. And that's just an important message for everyone.
Expect you to understand. We just hope we can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and you don't care about what we know. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that
Yeah. It's good, isn't it?
It's a very powerful song, very strong, and it's definitely needed. You described it to me earlier as it's quite uncomfortable for women to hear songs like this. And I guess that uncomfortable feeling comes from knowing that you can do better. I don't think women are completely oblivious to men's feelings. I think they're just, like you said, they put themselves first, so they're just thinking of themselves first. And not acknowledging it as higher than their own needs and feelings. And that's where the problem is then, isn't it? Because we should be thinking of the other person. We should be thinking of our husband's feelings. We should be thinking about how we can best support on this journey together, because it's very different now, isn't it? It's not like before. I mean, we've had this conversation so many times, but you know, where men were just providing for bread and butter, basically. But now there's cars, there's holidays, there's extracurricular activities, there's stuff, like material stuff. It's just so different now. The pressure is a lot higher on men to provide all these different things and avenues to be seen as successful. And yeah, whereas there was a time it was just dinner on the table. Do you know what I mean? So it's changed and over time, but we haven't changed in our perception of what it means to value your husband. You know, we're not just saying thank you for the meal anymore and the roof over our head. There's so much more. I just hope that with time that I'm getting better, because like you said, it all leads down to those examples and what you don't want to pass on to the next generation. When you haven't always necessarily had great examples of, you may know married couples, or you may have experienced married couples within your family, but how many healthy, fruitful relationships can you count where there's been that balance, where you can see that the man is well loved and nourished and thought of, and he's able to lead with that power that he needs, driven by his wife? You know, how many times have we seen that example growing up and now as adults?
Yeah, not many. Yeah, and that's why it's important for you. It has to start with each of us, and all of us. We have to, you know, be that example for our children, for our friends, and we have to be the difference makers. You know, because no one else is going to do it. So it starts with you. You can be that glitch in the matrix, that Neo, that changes the course of your family's history, or, you know, changes your friends, your family, people around you. And that's why it's great that Dax made this song, because it's like he's bringing a conversation to so many households and so many people. And I know this was a year ago, so it's a bit late now, but I hear that he's just he sold a certain amount of records now, that he's got like a platinum or something disc for it. So congratulations to him. And you know, it's like, yeah, it's what great content, what a great idea. You know, it's great to see music being used in this way to create positive change, and not just the negative stuff that we're used to. We're so used to all the negative stuff, but then it shows that music can also do some good too, and do some healing, because I know I healed listening to this song, and I shed some tears listening to this song. And so it's that's the power of music. It's like, it's so powerful that it can actually heal you, you know. And yeah, really good. Okay, so we're just watching the remix as well. We thought to watch the remix. Let's go.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Too much pressure on my shoulders, it gets tough to be the person bringing in the bread and be the lover that you need for self-care. Yeah, I had to let go. I'd be lying if I told you that it never takes a toll on my mind. I need someone to save me, but I have to be the one saving you. When you're exhausted, I'm the shoulder where you meant. Gotta stay strong, what can I do when I can't hide myself? I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man.
So yeah, that first verse was really good. Loved how he said, you know, I need someone to save me, but I have to be the one to save everyone else. So yeah, that's a bar. That's a bar. Sometimes you can feel like you're the one who has to save everyone else, but really you inside you need saving. You know, so, and he's there drinking, and yeah, you know, you see that all the time. You see men just drinking their lives away. You know, it's you know, even sometimes when I'm at the gym and I was talking to an individual, we were in the sauna, and he was saying he just got diabetes, and but he can't give up the drink. He can't give up, you know, because he goes and watches Villa on the weekend, and you know, he starts at 11 and goes right through to 11 at night. So he goes to the pub, stays there for a while, then goes to the game, then goes back to the pub, right to 11. So he has like roughly 8 pints and for the day. And the doctor was saying to him that, you know, can you do 4? And he's like, no, I can't do it.
Full pints, not halves.
Yeah, full pints. Yeah. So, but that's a lifestyle he's got into, you know, and that's his drink is what keeps him sane. That's his thing. That's his release. But there's a lot of pain that he's trying to drown with that alcohol, you know, that really, you know, he should talk about, you know, or express, or. But what the alcohol does, and these are what addictions do, is they keep you numb to the feelings that you're feeling. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. I know a lot of men don't feel the same, but I don't feel ashamed. Letting the water fall when my heart's ablaze. Daddy taught me that was how to put a fire out. So when I'm hurting, I don't mind to cry my eyes out. I only have a few examples of a man in my life, and only one who made perfection lifelike. So I try to remember 2 words when I don't know what to do. Don't forget Jesus wept and brother, so can you. I can't hide my.
That's probably one of my best. I really liked his one, just because he said, you know, that his daddy told me that that's how you put the fire out. That's a bar. It's a bar. It's a crazy bar that. And that's crazy though. That's the thought that went into that lyric, you know, it's just crazy. It's just a bar. You know, so, and his voice is so nice as well. The way it comes into the track, and the things that he talks about is really good. Like, Jesus wept, so why can't you? You know, that's a bar. So, yeah, cool.
I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know.
Sorry, did you have a thought on that? I didn't mean to, like...
No,
Oh, you
I
enjoy it?
want,
Okay.
It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. The scent's all in my head, and I guess that makes sense, cause everything I feel, I keep it, cause it's different.
I love how it's filmed as well, like
we're caught oversensitive.
The light coming through the window, and
it doesn't make sense, so we battle everything up in our minds. We grow cold, dark and oversensitive. Everything I feel, I keep it, cause it's different for me. We talk about inside that.
I just need to hear that.
It's all in my head, and I guess that makes sense, cause everything I feel, I keep it, cause it's different for me. We talk about our feelings, we're called oversensitive. We're asked to strike a balance, it doesn't exist, so we battle everything up in our minds. We grow cold, dark and numb as we slowly die. You ever wonder why it's mostly men who commit suicide? We figure why now we're already dead. I can't hide myself, I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know.
So it's kind of touching on double standards and how, like, you know, women, it's, you know, well, men feel like they can't express their emotions, or you're perceived as weak, and how you get called too sensitive, you know. So you feel like there's not a balance with the way it works, you know. So I did like his voice. I do like the way he came at it, because he was kind of he was almost as if he was just talking. Like, it was like a the way he explained it was so clear, and his perspective, and I just think that was really cool.
It's not about how you feel, what you provide inside that.
There's a lot of verses, so.
You picked me up when I was broken. You pieced together words that were not spoken. You found a way to see me as I was, even when the world doesn't show you the same love. You're expecting to do everything on your own, providing and hide all the feelings that you hold, but your heart is deserving of showing. I see you for who you are. I hope that you know if
I can't hide myself.
Really powerful to have the woman speak. The first time I heard that, I was like, wow, that's really, really a good idea. Like, he gave the woman a voice to say how she feels in that moment, and I think that was powerful, because that's what men would love to hear, is that voice, you know, and that really brings it together and brings it into balance, in the sense of, okay, we're this, what he's saying now is unifying people. It's not just, you know, oh, this is our side. It's like it's unifying male and female. So, and her voice is amazing as well. She's got a really nice voice. But to say that everything that her man has done for her, the love and everything, and she appreciates it. And sometimes you, as men, you don't hear that a lot. You don't hear, you know, women say, you know, they appreciate the love and acceptance and what you've given them, you know. So it's nice. It's nice to hear that.
I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. I know we all got decisions to make, but it seems that my decisions cause division. I hate this pride. I break inside, but I cannot cry, cause all I wanna do is provide. I was made for this, I'm a father of 7. My oldest is 20, my youngest 11, and they all gotta eat, so I bury my feelings and stand my feet like they told me. Gotta be grown, they told me.
So he's got 7 kids, snap. Yeah.
You're on your own, they told me, but we're not alone, they show me. I can't, cause all I wanna do is provide.
Woo, that harmony. Cause all I wanna do is provide. That's a sick harmony. It's so good.
I know we all got decisions to make, but it seems that my decisions cause division. I hate this pride. I break inside, but I cannot cry, cause all I wanna do is provide. I was made for this, I'm a father of 7. My oldest is 20, my youngest 11, and they all gotta eat, so I bury my feelings and stand my feet like they told me. Gotta be grown, they told me. You're on your own, they told me, but we're not alone, they show me. I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home.
Yeah, patiently waiting for God to show me signs I need. I'm not the man for the job, all the things I can't be. Put all my feelings aside. I think that I'll be better off when I'm not.
See, men feel a lot of time like they're not, I'm not gonna do this. How am I? I'm not the man for this, you know? You have to put your feelings aside, you know?
Show me signs I need. I'm not the man for the job, all the things I can't be. Put all my feelings aside. I think that I'll be better off when I'm not alive. Fought through depression for years and I try to hide.
I think suicide can be a relief, yeah. Or you think a perceived relief, like a perceived way out, you know. So you understand that perspective, that some men feel like by ending it, then they don't have to feel this out of place feeling anymore, you know.
Yeah, almost put pressure and pulled it, but I decided to give it all that I can. But this what it's like to be a man. I can't hide myself.
I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home.
As a man, if you show your emotions, they take it for weakness, ain't nothing new. Teaching my son to be mentally strong and prepare for the battle, he ain't even 2. Being a father is lit, but I gotta admit that sometimes I don't.
He ain't even 2. You know what I mean? Like, he's already teaching and he ain't even 2. You know, I love that. I love the flow. I love the everything. Like, how he came into it, and yeah. Because we got a son that's 2, it hit home as well. Like, yeah, even 2, you know.
Teaching my son to be mentally strong and prepare for the battle, he ain't even 2. Being a father is lit, but I gotta admit it, sometimes I don't know what to do. Provide and protect was the name of the game I was playing for you, and you know that it's true. Unconditional love and reality, but you can't take a look from my view. A lot of my days were blue with a dog in me, so I fought and you didn't have a clue. When I had it, we had it together, but now we divided, your colors are true. I shouldn't have to ask for no help if you knew I was struggling, I would've did it for you.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home.
I'm sorry, I never knew all the things that you go through. I never meant to put your pain aside. Didn't mean to make you think to hide. Those demons in your head, they'll tell you you're less than. But I'm here to tell you that you're more than perfect. Don't let the voices make you think you're worthless, 'cause you're worth it. You got this.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man.
Yeah, I love her voice and everything. Like, everything she said, like, that's like that reassurance that sometimes I know that men give to women mostly, but it's nice to hear it sometimes. And I think sometimes we can get that from other men too, but it's nice to hear your woman reassure you that you can do this, you got this. You know, it's nice. And then the way she delivered it, the way she sang it was really nice. And then to hear them sing it together as well is powerful as well, like, because it's kind of like, it's like a togetherness. It's really powerful, isn't it?
Collaboration in the sense of just team, you know, not feeling like you're butting heads all the time on whose feelings are more important. It's a symbol of unity.
It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home.
It's just a lot I wanna say. To be a man requires you to hide the pain. You find yourself inside a hole you can't get out.
This guy's from
You
South
wanna
Africa.
shout, the pain is just unbearable. Oh no, I just wanna cry and be given a hug and be told everything will be okay. I don't know anyone who knows. There's logic on a day. I have a family that depends on me.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home.
Look, as a man, they expect you to be strong and someone to lean on no matter what you're dealing with. I just lost a couple friends to drugs, and when I woke up in the morning, man, I really wasn't feeling it. But I gotta try to battle the pain. But when they took my son away, I had to try to find a will to live. Put in 5 whole years at a job that I got laid off, and the news had me feeling sick. I was drowning in the deep end. Anybody wanna give me a reason? I don't even try to bother with a social life, cause I would rather be alone on the weekends, chilling with my demons. And I try to suppress the depression and need of a blessing, cause I'm really about to lose it all. Just remember that I try to be a man when you lose me all, and I'm gone.
I can't hide myself.
It's good that he doesn't feel like he has to be perfect either. He's coming at it like, yeah, I don't like to be, I like to be alone on the weekends where I struggle with my demons, you know, like, yeah, like that's true. I can relate to that definitely. It's nice that everyone didn't feel like they have to say that, oh wow, I'm doing so well. but they're also being vulnerable as well, which is important. It's nice, it's good to hear, because people want to relate to it, and it's going to be able to bring a lot of men into listening to the song. So yeah, I like the way he rapped on it as well. Really good flow. It was really good.
I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good. Again, if you got comments, please put them below and let us know what you think. Who did you think had the best verse? Anything that stood out to you that was life-changing or impactful or insightful, or you disagree with, or you have a different opinion to, then let us know. Would be nice to hear from you and have a further discussion on the topic.
What was your favourite verse?
I think I like the rapper, the first rapper before the last rapper, if that makes sense. The one who said I've actually got two favorites. I've got the rapper that said, even before he's 2, he was talking about his son before he was 2, how he's trying to already prepare him. And then also I like the Jesus one where he said that Jesus wept, so can you. And also he said that, those tears help put out the fire.
Yeah. I think that was my favourite.
So, yeah.
Stood out that because of what would you call it?
A metaphor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was a good metaphor. Metaphors are always powerful because they help people see things as they are, rather than it being something complicated. You just bring it to something quite symbolic and powerful. So it's really good.
And so many people just resonate with every single verse of that track. And
yeah.
I bet it's helped a lot of people out of some really dark times as well, and understand people like, we won't say his name, but as your friend who sadly has left us recently, an insight into how he was probably feeling too, and would this song have helped him?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it can, it can help a lot of people. Let's hope it does. Let's hope it gets people talking. But and I hope it gets you talking. So get in the comments and let's continue the conversation. So thank you for watching, and we're FamVoyage, and we are homeschooling and vegan family. And if you want to see more videos like this or about any of those things that I just said, then please subscribe.